The film Jungle Cry is based on the true story of a ragtag team of rugby players from India who went on to secure a historic win against all odds in the 2007 International Junior Rugby Tournament in London.
The trailer actually debuted at this year's Cannes Film Festival, and one of the stars is here, Emily Shah. Emily, nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
A film about rugby. No one knows anything about rugby in America.
Yeah,
so
including myself before I did this film, so yeah.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks, yeah, thanks for having me.
So why rugby? Why this film? I mean, I watched the trailer and it was emotional. And
Yeah.
It was such a sweet story.
Yeah.
But why rugby? I mean, rugby, it seems like an uphill climb.
Well, and that was the biggest challenge that these boys faced, was that they've never heard of rugby before. They've never been outside of their town, let alone India. So for them to travel to a country where the temperatures are completely the opposite of what they're used to, and then to play a sport that they've never played before and only have 4 months to prep for it, they had every odd against, you know what I mean? So it was just, no one expected them to come to where they did, and it was just an amazing story. And so when I read it, I knew that this was a story that had to, you know, it had to be made, and the world needed to hear about it.
How were they encouraged? What was their motivation to move forward through all of this? Because this is such an unlikely story.
For sure. Most of the boys are orphans, and this school that they had studied at, the guy that owned the school, he himself also came from, you know, the slums and the tribal land, and so he had said, this is a chance that we're getting to put our boys on an international platform, and they're not just doing it for themselves, they're doing it for every tribal and slum kid out there. And so he was the motivation behind them, and the coach obviously motivated them to go, and so these boys, they knew that they were doing it not only for themselves but for their community.
And I love that you play like their trainer, right? Is it
Well,
like
there's physio, yeah, so they're doctor.
So they're doctor.
Yeah.
So, but you wanted it to be a woman. Was it a woman in real life?
Well, so my character is the only character that was written in the story, and so most physios are actually women, and the one that I shadowed was a woman. She was from Canada, actually, Indian girl, studied in the UK and studied specifically for rugby, and then was a physio in the UK for the professional rugby team. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty common that women are usually the physio and the doctors, which is, you would think, yeah, you would think it'd be men, but no, it's women.
Interesting to me that now your background, you come from a film family, your father's in the film business, you rose up in the film business. Was this something that you always wanted to do, or are you just being forced into it because of your family?
No, it was something that I always wanted to do. I started taking dance lessons at the age of 2, and I loved performing, and I knew that I didn't know in what capacity, what exactly I wanted to do up until I was probably in middle school, and then I really fell in love with acting. But yeah, I was doing acting class at the age of 5, but I was just having fun with it. I didn't know anything. And while I was in college, I was actually doing a lot of production work. So I did behind the scenes stuff with the second unit team, which is a stunt team, and I've done, you know, just PA jobs here and there. And learning different aspects of production, I realized that acting was a place where I needed to be.
But I read that your dad wanted you to get your hands dirty, to learn the tough stuff.
Yeah, he did, for sure. He was like, you're going to pick up trash before you get on screen.
Which I think is a rarity, you know, because there's a lot. I mean, obviously your father is a big producer, director, has his own kind of production company, and so it would be very easy, I would imagine, if he were a different person, to just say, oh, my daughter is going to play the leading role. Instead, he took you that way.
Yeah.
And how did that shape how you now appear on camera?
I have a lot more appreciation for production, and I understand. I see actors get very frustrated with permits and their time on set and schedules, and I just realized that this has nothing to do, you know, it's just a production thing, and these things are normal. So it's very easy for me as an actor to just go with the flow and to understand where the production side is coming from and the finance side is coming from, and that kind of aspect. So yeah, I feel like I have a better understanding of it and a better appreciation, for sure.
So you mentioned your dad. Your dad's name is?
Prashant Shah.
Prashant Shah.
Yeah.
Very well known now. Now, Bollywood to me is like, it's a huge thing. I mean, film in India is a giant, it's bigger than, I think, than Hollywood in some instances. There's lots of films being produced like every single day. It's a real machine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, Spanish is a second speaking language in America, but every Friday there's at least 1, if not 2, Bollywood films that release in AMCs and Regals around the US. So that says a lot for our industry.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, so the film, Jungle Cry,
Yes.
is not available yet.
Not yet.
But what's the plan for the film? Because the trailer is amazing,
Yeah.
and the kids you got to play, or the actors you got to play the rugby team, incredible as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We know we have a very good story at our fingertips, and I think the production company right now is just looking at the best distributor and the best release date as well. So we'll see what the next steps are. But yeah, there should be some news releasing very soon.
All right.
Emily Shah,
Well,
thank you
keep
so
us
much.
updated, please.
Yeah,
Keep us
absolutely.
updated, absolutely. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Still ahead, part 2 of our sit-down chat with Alan Parsons, all about his new music next.